wonderful today. Hope you're doing well. As always, I wish you the absolute best. And today is a great day to feel our best. Let me start off by saying it's a little chilly. It's in the 50s today, so it's a little bit cool. But I'm feeling wonderful. I like this kind of gloomy sky. I like the cool air. I like that feeling of fall. And it's undeniable. The fall is is here. I know technically I don't think it's officially fall yet, but that's fine. Fall is here. A quick visual descriptor before we get going. I have long brown hair, glasses, a black shirt, a silver bracelet, and a coffee mug in hand. Behind me, we have some beautiful trees. Way past those trees is the river, which hopefully you can hear flowing in the background. And if you can't, well, it's wonderful. And I hear it teeming with life. The salmon are running. But I don't just hear the river teeming with fish, I hear it teeming with fishermen. People sloshing their way through water out there to hook the big one, to enjoy themselves, and to get that early morning rush. And many of them have been out there now for some time, which is pretty cool. Now get your coffee, tea, whatever it may be, whatever gets your day going. I, of course, have my coffee. It is delightful, absolutely delightful. I want to talk to you about success. What is success? How do you define success? And are you the one defining your success? Now, I realize the title of today's video, today's stream, is defining your success, but that brings to question immediately, who is defining what success looks like in your life? Is it something that you have perceived and conceived of as to what success is for you, or are you relying upon outside influences to tell you what success looks like? Is success the big house with the white picket fence and the all of that? Hey, we got Salty popping in over on Twitch. Great to see you. Great to see you. And thank you so much. Speaking of the art classes, I will actually be talking about that in a moment because this weekend is my next art workshop, The Art of Feeling. And I'm going to be dropping a link for that. But wishing you all the absolute best. Thank you for stopping in. Now, success. It is, oh, that's a wonderful definition of success. I'm going to go with that. That's completely acceptable. Now, success must be defined by ourselves because it doesn't necessarily have to be a certain monetary gain. It doesn't have to be a certain percentage of profit. Success can be smaller things, or it can be tangential things. Success can be someone knowing your name in your field. That is success. And if that's how you want to define success, that's perfectly acceptable, perfectly fine. If you want success to be defined as people knowing who you are in your field, well, then you know what you're working towards. And that's actually why it's important to define our own success. To define our own success means we know what we are working to. We know what our goal is. Now, you might have certain goals for your business, your life, your job, your hobbies, but when you actually define a success in those areas, or what success is, you know what you're working towards, and you can actually focus in better. You can really get things fine-tuned to what that is. So I'm actually going to talk about my art workshop to illustrate this. I set my art workshop so there was only 70 spots, 70 tickets for each workshop available. Success for me would be able to sell almost half of those tickets for an art workshop. Now, 7 months in to doing these art workshops, 7 months in, and this weekend, I will actually have my first art workshop where I have sold half my tickets. Half my tickets. Which means I had a goal, I had something that I thought would really be amazing to achieve, and 7 months in, I've done that thing. As far as I'm concerned, that makes my first success a tangible, attained thing. But success isn't always that easy. Sometimes success can take us years and years. If your image in your mind of success is the big house, well, you want that nice big house with a big back lawn, and maybe you want a swing set or a pool or something in your back lawn, or maybe you just want a big garden. Or maybe you want to have a barn because you want some animals outside. My point is, if your goal, your success in what you're doing is achieving the ability to have that home, it might take you some years. But you have a way to define, you have a way to really hone in on what you're doing, because that means what your goal is to have enough money for the down payment and maybe the good credit to purchase that home. So you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for. But what if your success is simply feeling unburdened? You want to not feel burdened by what you do. Well, if that's your idea of success, well, then finding some way to balance out the things you have to do and the things you want to do, so that the things that you have to do don't feel like they crush the things you want to do, that's success. And that could be finding ways so that almost all of your income comes from passive sources, or finding ways to work less hours. Maybe you only want to work 2 days a week. Maybe you only want to work 1 day a month. Figure out how to do that. And I'm not here to draw the roadmap for you or to tell you which of these concepts in success is the right one. I'm here to tell you that it's up to you. And if you're an artist like myself and your idea of success is making one masterpiece, that's what you want to do. You want one masterpiece. Well, then again, you have your defined goal. You want to create a masterpiece, a singular thing that you find perfect. And that might take your entire life. But you have a goal. You have a purpose. You have a path. And maybe it won't take your entire life. Maybe in 5 years, you'll produce what you feel is a masterpiece. And then if you have, well, now it's time for you to redefine success again. You succeeded at creating that masterpiece. So what is success now? Maybe success now is a complete showing at some large gallery in some city, somewhere in your country or a different country. Okay, time to start working for it. What do you need to do? Draw your roadmap. But success is never what other people put upon us. It isn't guidelines and directives and goals that are hoisted upon our dreams. Now, granted, in certain jobs and occupations, your company that you work for is going to define what is successful and what isn't. And you're going to be trying to achieve those things for them. But the great thing is, that's not your success, that's the company you're working for. So that pressure doesn't fall upon you. They just make it feel sometimes like it does. In truth, you still get to define what is successful for you. So if you work in sales and you're supposed to do 40 to 50 sales calls a day to be successful for your company, well, that's your company's goal. But what if your goal is that you want to have one of those calls feel like you built a real relationship? Every day you want to feel like you built a real relationship with one of your clients. There you go. Now you have a goal, don't you? You have your success that you're looking at. And maybe some days you'll succeed, and maybe some days you won't. But regardless, you have a goal, and you have a path, and you have your roadmap. Success shouldn't be tied to our happiness, but our successes should bring us some sense of joy. And we shouldn't get down on ourselves when we don't achieve those successes, because success is vague, it's arbitrary. Even when you define what success is for you, remember that not achieving that does not make you unsuccessful. In fact, let me put out here really quick. The only way to be unsuccessful is if you stop trying. The minute you stop trying, the moment you give up, well, now you're unsuccessful because you've given up on what you wanted. However, not achieving while you are trying, that doesn't make you unsuccessful. That simply means you're still on the path. You're still on the road to success. And that's something I'd like you to consider, something I'd like you to take to heart. That not reaching your goal is not being a failure. It's not being unsuccessful. You're trying, you're doing, you're working, you're aiming. And that is a beautiful thing. Get yourself an extra cuppa. You deserve one. Coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Now, I want to talk to you really quick about the Art of Feeling, an abstract art workshop. The next one is on September 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're watching this live right now, that means it's tomorrow. Exactly. 10,000 tries to get a long burning light bulb. You know, just keep trying. Now, for the Art of Feeling, which is tomorrow, September 17th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, you can still sign up. You can still sign up. There is still a space for you. And I would like to invite you to come. As an abstract art workshop, it's kind of not limited by a lot of the rules and concepts that certain art forms have. We're not trying to create something real. We're trying to create the feeling of something. And with that said, that means there's no right or wrong way for you to create that piece. During the Art of Feeling, I'm going to cover a little bit of abstract art history, cover a few techniques, interact, answer questions, but also we're all going to be painting together, and it's going to be marvelous. So I invite you to come, whether you've never painted before or whether you've been painting for years, whether this is the first time you'll ever pick up a paintbrush, or you're just comfortable and you've been doing it for a long time. Please come and join us. It's going to be so much fun. And of course, if you go over to Eventbrite and get yourself a ticket, bear in mind you can sign up for any of the remaining workshops. They're every third Saturday of the month until the end of the year. And because of how well they're doing, I'm probably going to be extending them into next year. And so there's that. But when you go to the Eventbrite listing, there is a link for my Amazon storefront where you can pick up some budget art supplies, as well as I have a list in the listing of some supplies that you should have available to you. And 1 second. And I'll be resharing that link, but that link should be visible on the screen, and I'll be resharing that in a moment. However, I want to wish you the absolute best. Be well, be excellent, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.